Hello everyone, welcome to our journey into ancient Greek. This time we shall learn about accents. Have you heard the words Perispomenon, Oxytone, Barytone maybe? Well, if you have, that means that you have certain acquaintance with the realm of accents, and that's okay. However, in ancient Greek, actually, accents have many particularities, and in this video, we shall learn first what kinds of accents we have in ancient Greek, and also how we can classify words according to the accent that they have. So, welcome. Well, the first thing that one may wonder when you face this topic of accents is why? Why bother learning accents? Because to some extent, you can actually learn how to read and translate ancient Greek without paying much attention to them. Well, although that's true, I would say that accents are very useful for distinguishing words. Sometimes one word that is using the same letters, say, differs from another word that uses the exact same letters, but the accent tells you that they are different words. And because of this reason, accents were introduced by Aristophanes of Byzantium. Don't worry, it's not the Aristophanes of the comedies, it's Aristophanes who was a scholar from around the year 200 BC, and he's the inventor of this accent system. Probably to help foreigners to learn Greek as they spoke it at the time. Now, you may wonder, well, why do you need such a system? The point is that accents in ancient Greek denote pitch and not stress. So, for instance, languages such as Spanish or modern Greek even, those are languages that have accents, but the accent is of stress. That means that whenever you see an accent in these languages, that means that in the syllable you see the accent, there you put this stress. You let's say raise the volume of what you're saying. However, in ancient Greek, it's not like that. It's an accent of pitch, which means that whenever you see an accent, what was actually occurring when people spoke the language is that they had a change of tone in the word that they were saying. This is very hard for us maybe to emulate or even to have a perfect grasp of how it worked. So in practice, what happens is that we all tend to do it more like a stress rather than a pitch. Maybe because many of us, myself included, we don't have a particularly beautiful voice to make these changes in pitch very clear. Sometimes a word can even have two accents. We'll see these in future videos. So let us see now what kinds of accents we have in ancient Greek, and with examples. This may help to understand this difference between stress and pitch. So we have three kinds of accents in ancient Greek: acute, grave, and circumflex. Now, the acute accent that you're seeing right here denotes an ascending pitch, a high pitch. So, for instance, we have the word Platon. I say Platon, and stressing on the second last syllable, the volume, because that's the way that, as a someone from a Hispanic culture, that something that comes from naturally to me, but it occurs quite abundantly in the English-speaking world as well. So Platon, as I pronounce it, would have been actually Platon, something like that. Sorry for my voice. But yeah, it would be a change of pitch, an ascending pitch, high pitch on the second last syllable. On the other hand, the grave accent shows a low pitch, or maybe a sort of cut. Some people have said that could occur in that syllable when it occurs. As an example, we can have the word kai, for instance, with a grave accent, and grave accents occur only when the word that has them is followed by another word. We shall see this later. And third, we have the circumflex accent. The circumflex accent is an accent that appears first high and then low. So we can only find circumflex accents in long syllables, because if you think about it, you need time, to go up on the pitch and then low again. So as an example, for instance, we could have the word saphos, which means clearly in ancient Greek, and you see the omega there, omega, long vowel, and that long vowel can, sustain this circumflex accent. Now we shall see some classifications of words depending on the accent they have. So before going into these classifications, we must say that accents in ancient Greek can only exist in the last 3 syllables of a word. That means that the accent will be on the last syllable, or on the second last syllable, or on the third last syllable. As I said before, a word can even have 2 accents. We shall see these in future videos, but for now, yes, only these syllables can hold an accent. So based on these positions is that we have the following classifications. So if the accent is acute in a word, where we have 3 different kinds of words. The first word is called oxytone. The oxytony, I think it's called in modern Greek, and maybe it's a trauma for many Greeks as they are learning it compulsorily in school. So an oxytone word is a word that has an acute accent in the last syllable. For instance, the word potamos, which means river. The next one would be paroxytone. A paroxytone word is a word which has an acute accent in the second last syllable. As an example, we have the word logos. Logos, that it's a very complicated word, has many meanings, among them speech, even reason, a word, and sometimes has really many meanings. But let us focus now on the accent it has. It's acute on the second last syllable. And third, we have the proparoxytone kind, which is a word which has an acute accent on the third last syllable. And a very famous word that has this feature is the word anthropos, which means man or human being, man in the sense of human being. Now, if the accent is circumflex, we have 2 different kinds of words. The first one is called Perispomenon, or Perispomeni, I think it's in Greek, modern Greek. So Perispomenon. A perispomenon is a word that has a circumflex accent in the last syllable. And we can use the same example as before, the word saphos, clearly. So here we have a circumflex accent on the last syllable of the word. Now, if the word has a circumflex accent on the second last syllable, we call this word Properispomenon. As an example, we have the word döido. Döido means here, as in, come here, like that here, referring to the place of something. And finally, if the accent is grave, that means that we have only one kind of word, and that is barytone. Barytone is a word that has a grave accent in the last syllable. That's the only possibility. Now, just a remark on these barytones. There are no barytone words by nature. I mean, most words in ancient Greek have accents, right? Have an accent. But barytones do not appear by themselves. If you check the dictionary, you will not find a barytone word. What happens is that, as I mentioned before, when you have a barytone word, that means that originally that was an oxytone word. That means a word that has an acute accent in the last syllable. But it became barytone because of the presence of another word after it. The only exception would be that the word that follows the barytone is an enclitic, but that's something that will concern us in future videos. And well, that's the end of today's video. Now, as I said before, there are many rules for ancient Greek accentuation. However, or maybe more than many, it's a complex set of rules. So, for instance, you can have a circumflex accent with an acute accent in the same word, and there are rules to understand how and when that can happen. Acute accents can travel from one word to another. So in order to understand this, we shall explore these rules in future videos. Please, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to reply to them as soon as I can. And if you like the video, please, a little thumbs up doesn't hurt anyone, and subscribe. Enjoy, and I hope this video was useful to you. Until next time.